Wangwam, K.O.K.E.I.E. Welcome back, friends. Black is for expansion. So it is later on. Wait, hold on. Let me tilt this up because y'all might not hear me. So I'm gonna try to get through this video as fast as possible because the seasons one, I didn't realize it was gonna take me about 2 hours to film, and this one is even more information, so fingers crossed it won't take so long. But oh, in the last video I didn't even tell y'all. Okay, so if you did not read the description area, ℓ it stands for that healer over there, teaching healing of terrestrial knowledge, being irrevocable. What did I say? Hold on, because it came to me. I don't know, Mary. Okay, so being irrevocable, beginning irrevocable solar healing. So bish, whatever. Okay, means that healer over there, teaching healing of terrestrial knowledge. Knowledge is in parentheses because I didn't put the K. Beginning irrevocable solar healing. So that's what that means for those who do not know. And this is my second episode. Eventually, I would like for it to start being live when I have enough followers. But I might do it even with if nobody watches, because somebody will interact with me eventually. But anyway, moving on. Today we are I am breaking down the energetic connection and physical connection to the planets. As you all have most likely heard, we are all connected because we all came from Source, God. My higher self and ancient grandmothers had downloaded to me that when it comes to the planets and stars, aka sun and moon, we're connected to them through our brain waves. Every lifetime we've physically lived, we've left an energetic imprint. The energy we created and contributed either added to imbalance or balance of the world as we know it today. I have studied, hence the saying, there's nothing new under the sun, which actually a family member had told me that is in the Bible. I don't physically know because I stopped studying the Bible a while ago, but makes sense because the Bible has been so grotesquely manipulated. It still holds the truth regardless, just depending on the frequency you're on and your vibe. But every physical time we incarnate, aka are born, we're given specific guidance, downloads, ideas, thoughts, and feelings, because when we're born, we're picking up where we left off, in a sense, from our last physical life, which is why it's so important to know your astrological birth chart, knowing your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and ascension sign, because they give you not only deep insight about you and your life from a physical aspect, but a spiritual one as well. Oh yeah, and this is the physical and zodiac astrology connection. Forgot to put that part in. But that's why it's best to know both your tropical and sidereal placements. I'll go over why in a little bit. But our last energetic imprint and all our imprints, aka Akashic records, are embedded within the stars, the planets, and with each other, which is why and how when the planets are in certain aspects, we are affected either positively or negatively. Hashtag yin yang, hashtag masculine and feminine energy. Hence, backtracking a bit, why it's important to know both your tropical and sidereal. It was revealed to me that our tropical placements is revelation to our physical journey, and our sidereal placements are revelation to our solar journey. And originally, when we first incarnated here on Earth, we utilized the planets and numerical energies. Hence the phrase "we're in a matrix" comes from. But things got out of natural alignment, and that's a whole other video of the downloads I've been getting about that. So I'll touch on that later. But I was downloaded that the true purpose of the planets and astrology, our astrology birth chart placements, is to help us individually and collectively on our personal and universal / collective ascensions fulfill our soul missions. Hence the saying, there's a reason for every season, and people come into your life for a reason and a season. It's all because of the physical solar contracts we made, the frequencies we incarnated into, and the frequencies we align and vibe to throughout our lives. I think I mentioned that in my seasons video. Yeah. So as I was saying in my video about the seasons, we are all still thinking and operating from our 3D mindset. None of us has actually ascended to the 4th, 5th, and so on dimensions, because 3 is all about creativity, problem solving, creating resolutions, collaborating, coming together as one, combining our individual unique gifts, talents, and skills to help ourselves individually, therefore being able to help each other, leading to successfully achieving stability in all aspects. All of us are here, meaning our purpose to heal, rather that be you doing it in the aspect of science and health, and you're working in the medical field as a doctor, all the way down to someone who is really good with organizing and paperwork, because that too takes a certain knack, a certain, je ne sais quoi. Everybody can't be and do the work of the secretary in the doctor's office, and everybody can't be and do the job of the doctor or nurse. And it's the same for those that heal and are healing others more through art and science, like cosmetologists, singers, inventors, architects, and or those who do it in aspects of spirituality in science and take on some type of religious leadership role, or are tarot readers. You could channel energies, or are just into astrology. But at the end of the day, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're interested in, even whatever you find yourself repulsed and or offended by, it's all because of your energy, friend. Your soul, what your soul brought with it, as well as what you inherited from your family, friends, communities, and overall environments. And that download blew my mind too. And I'll get more into that when I get into the Jean Piaget concept. That's he was a scientist. I really like his work from what I read. But moving on, friend. So if you clicked onto this video, you most likely are very familiar with the representations and energetic symbolism of each planet, of what each planet means, i.e. the sun. The sun sign reps our physical self, our masculine energy, our relationships with the males in our lives, our conscious brain, and so on with the moon, Venus, and the rest of the planets. So they revealed to me that when the ish hit the fan and got all effed up down here and out of balance, our divine ether parents, like our parents, like all parents, they were like, we can't leave our kids completely assed out here in these physical and energetic streets. Bless. I'm so glad. So we're going to bless them, these planets and luminaries, to help them get their ish together. Hence all the stories of certain people, aka gods and goddesses, deities, orishas, whichever title you're more familiar with, becoming planets and or are responsible for creation of that planet or star, because that was their purpose. And also to share their energies, their messages of the things they did right and the things they did wrong, which is why we have high and low vibrations. But the planets and stars are here to help guide us, because as I said in my seasons video, like I said, if you have not checked that out, please go check that out at your earliest convenience. But back to what I was saying. So like I mentioned in my seasons video, energetically, we all were born, created on certain frequencies, timelines, dimensions, and so forth. And the first set or group of energetic beings that were born that we look to as gods or deities or orishas left their energetic imprint within and throughout our multidimensional homes, aka space. And then they had kids, and then their kids had kids, and so forth. So much like they're like on here on Earth, there's so much diversity here. It's the same in the ethers. Some of us came from higher frequencies, aka ether bloodlines that are high vibrational, and some low, which is where the social systems we have in place now come from. Because as I've mentioned, there's nothing new under the sun. All of us are doing the same things we did in previous physical lifetimes, not just on this planet, but lifetimes we've lived throughout space. My soul alone has lived a total of 80,000 lifetimes. She told me that she lived 10,000 on this planet, 20,000 lifetimes within this galaxy, you know, the Milky Way, and 50,000 lifetimes outside of this galaxy. So all the positive and negative she's done is hidden within the ethers as well. So I was told that the first group of souls, no matter what frequency and dimension that our divine ether parents created them in per their purposes of the world and energy overall, I was told is told repeatedly through the planets and stars, like through the energy and the messages that they send us, hence the energetic effects that they have on us. They're repeatedly repeating the same stories to us individually per our energetic imprints that we have left thus far in our multiple lifetimes. And then they just keep sending it back to us like, hey, this is what you did around this time in this season on this frequency. You know, like right tonight, me filming this is Leo new moon. So the Leo new moon is going to show all of us, I'm going to make that video next, but the Leo new moon is going to show us all of our, because Leo is a earth element and it's fixed masculine energy. So it's all about our issues that we physically have, that we are more observant of, that stick out the most, that we're most focused on in the physical, because it's earth, it's grounding. You know, that's what earth means to me, grounding, physical, especially masculine energy. So it's all about the physical life. Excuse me. And then the Leo, and then it's a new moon. So tonight it's all about planting the seeds. And then to this, I'm gonna wait till I break it down. I'm not gonna go anymore. But the Leo new moon is all about the physical, planting the seeds to overcome your physical obstacles. At the time that I'm filming this tonight, just the Leo new moon. But what was I saying? But like I was saying, so it's like tonight's new moon, Leo new moon, is going to send personal energetic messages to all of us, letting us know, shining her light on us to let us know, okay, in our dreams or, you know, whatnot, in meditation, or whenever your mind is at peace and you can just focus on you inwardly. You know, that's when you'll see revelations, images, maybe thoughts, ideas, but you'll get some type of message just letting you know, like, hey, this is what you need to overcome. This is a lesson you have not learned either from this lifetime or a previous lifetime, that you need to start planting the seeds to overcome. But like I said, I'm going to get more into that in that video. I go hard. But anyway, but the stars and the planets, they constantly are sending these. It's like a cycle, much like the infinity symbolism, you know, as within, so without. So everything that's sown within the energetic frequencies that's surrounding us within the planets is sent back out to us. We receive it, we process it, either physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And then however however we process it, a lot of us aren't aware how to process this energy in a healthy way, which is why I created my channel. So therefore you get this information. All you know is that you have a feeling, you have a thought, but you are overcome with a certain urge, you in some type of way, shape, or form, some type of feeling. Maybe it's something you want to do out of nowhere. Maybe it's something you get an idea that's something you want to fix or start working on that you just never finished. Whatever it is, that was sent to you from the ethers, from the planets, from our cosmic family. And then how you process it is going to be sent out, letting the God of your understanding as well as surrounding energy know, hey, is this person aligning with this, or is they aligning with that? Much like the Matrix, ready for the blue pill or the red pill? Which one do you want? So and then that's when the next step would be, okay, so what's gonna happen next? What contracts to activate. Let me get back on script. But like I said, in the seasons video, I had mentioned how we're not truly ascending as of yet from the 3D mindset. It's because much like the planets, they go through their own ascensions with the seasons and cycles and so forth. We do too. And thus far, we all keep coming down, meaning our souls, to fix all the BS. Either we effed up in the ethers because some of us are part of the first group of souls, or are their offspring. So we have to correct our energetic ancestors' mistakes, because that was the energetic frequency and dimension we were created in, much like here on Earth. Some of us are born into certain families that are bad, quote unquote, others not. Some of us have lives where in the physical level, aesthetically, life is great, others not, and others in the in the middle. It's all per the physical solar contracts we made to create stability and balance again, to bring peace and harmony back and throughout our multi-dimensional homes, in and throughout space. But the planets and stars are here to send celestial, terrestrial knowledge of what has already been done, both good and bad, so that we can take the higher messages and create new messages energetically by living our best lives per the purposes of our souls chose to show up and show out as you, friend. Everything we're creating and discovering has already existed. Hence the saying time is an illusion, and we are the creators of our worlds and our lives. Because think about our minds. Either we're the type of person that thinks about the past a lot, regardless if you're thinking about good experiences or bad. At the end of the day, it happened, and it and you are reflecting energy of stagnation. And it's the same for people who think about the future, regardless if you're thinking about good stuff coming your way or bad. It could be stagnant too, because now you're living, aka thinking about the future so much that you're not present, because you're either continuously building and creating, working all the time, not enjoying the fruits of your labor, stuff like that, not taking really too many vacation days, just not being present, not enjoying your life. All you do is work. You're constantly creating and building. You're living too much in your future, not realizing that the present is passing you up, and soon it'll be your past. And next thing you know, time flew past. Or you could be living in your future and you could be preparing and blocking. Overall, none of us, and by that I mean, like, let's say you are swamped with a lot of bills or something like that. This is the best example I could think of. Let's say you're swamped with a lot of bills. So in order to get out the rut and prepare to have some type of financial release, you're working and stuff. That too as well can reflect stagnation, because now your mind is thinking about the future, but it's thinking about problems. Therefore, you're calling in more problems. Therefore, you're still stuck. You're stagnant in space in your mind. And you're going to miss the present because all you see is problems surrounding you, because that's all you're focused on is the problems, even though you are working towards a resolution, but it's just not the way that you were created and built to do. So therefore those low vibrational energies got a hold of you, and all you see is chaos, so overall none of us, I was told, have been sitting still, being present to realize that we are still repeating history. We're still creating imbalance within, therefore throughout, because we're too busy trying to either fix something that is outside of us to fix, or correct and or create and discover what has already been created. All the problems and resolutions we currently have and have experienced, we all brought down from the ethers, and the planets were given to us as and for guidance to not repeat the same cycles, phases, and lessons, good or bad. Now, I'm not going to go into detail because there are so many different cultures who have stories about the planets that pass down through tradition. So I'm not going to say like it's wrong or right. And I hope nobody says like what you're saying is wrong. Just think about like the planets overall. What is the purpose of the planets? Regardless of however you learned how they existed. That's my main point. What is the purpose of the planets that you have learned? Don't focus too much on me and what I was saying as far as how they came about, because as I had mentioned earlier, we all learned about the planets as far as if you if you're from somewhere that is deeply rooted in the culture, your culture, and you have stories that have been passed on for lifetimes, because that's part of your culture. So I don't want anybody to think I'm discrediting their culture or anything like that and how they learn. I just want you to understand that at the end of the day, what did you learn about the purpose of the moon and the sun and what it's supposed to do, and combine that with what I'm saying right now, what my ancient ancestors and my higher self has said as far as the purposes of the planets, and see if if it makes sense to you or not. If it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. I'm not here to judge anybody, and I don't want anybody to judge me. It is what it is. So anyway, I just got pulled to say that out of nowhere. But like I said, the planets were given to us as and for guidance to not repeat the same cycles, phases, and lessons, good or bad. We're here to grow, mature, and ascend until there is peace and balance throughout all dimensions, and then all dimensions being one, which is why for those of you who are hip, know that our universe is merging with another. I think they said 𝕁𝕠𝕠𝕜𝕐 something. It's another galaxy that starts with the A, and eventually will be merged. We've already started merging with this galaxy. We're in or universe. We're in the universe of Milky Way, or galaxy of Milky Way. So we're going to merge with that other universe A and stuff. I can't remember how many years. I know it's like a couple million or billion light years away, but still we've already started merging with it. So just y'all gotta wake up and like really pay attention. Excuse me, but I only know this stuff because my higher self tells me, and my ancient ancestors. But like I said, we're merging already, and that's news. And then the other news I know I heard is that eventually the moon is going to orbit out and away from Earth eventually. That'll be drastic. To not have nighttime, that's when we rest. That's a lot of things happen in the dark. So it's overall, I'm not trying to scare or trigger anyone, friend, but we weren't meant to stay in this 3D dimension physically, mentally, emotionally, therefore energetically, aka spiritually. We weren't meant to stay here for a long ass time. And it's not, like I said, it's not to trigger anyone. I don't know 100% as far as what's going to happen to this planet. I've been shown so many different things, but that's because, once again, my soul has lived a total of 80,000 lifetimes. So I couldn't even imagine how many years is up in me right now, because but it's all, memories and things that has already been learned, but that I'm slowly unlocking. But as I was saying, we're supposed to continuously, individually and collectively work together to create, aka work to bring balance and peace within all the dimensions we came from, stopping the energetic wars and battles. I was told family feuds and be one big happy family again, period. Just to love on each other unconditionally, like our divine ether parents do with us individually, all the time. But we can't see and feel it 100%. If we did, we wouldn't have wars right now. We wouldn't have discrimination, and no one would be trying to rule over anyone, because when you know yourself from your soul out, when you know your purpose, you'll bring your talent, skills, and extrasensory abilities to the table that you were already blessed with, because you have a soul that has lived in both the energetic and physical realms, that has lived multiple lifetimes in different eras, doing exactly what you're doing now, majority, most likely. And yet and still, we still have all this chaotic energy surrounding us and within us, because none of us has been utilizing our energies the way we're supposed to, the way we were created to. We haven't been taking heed to the knowledge and guidance of the stars like we're supposed to until now. Now, backtracking to knowing why it's important to know both your tropical and sidereal placements, because one, tropical reflects your physical conscious, your awake experiences, or should I say sleep, because technically we're truly awake and living as the when we're sleep, and our souls are able to travel and get the energetic messages and heal and stuff as much as possible, heal us physically as much as possible. So anyway, the our tropical astrological birth charts placements reflect our masculine energy, like I said, our actions, and our conscious mind, and the actions you take and how you show up in the world, for yourself and to the world. That's the tropical. I'm getting sorry. It's tired. I'm tired and it's late. But the tropical birth chart placements show your masculine energy, how you show up in the world, much like the sun. Hence why they say knowing your astrological birth chart is like the blueprint to your life, because it is. And the sidereal is your inner world. The sidereal birth chart is, well, let me say this. The tropical birth chart is more so like a Western, the Western civilizations, like us in America, we created that. And then the sidereal was created by like Indian or Hinduism, but it reflects the sun's the planet's positions at night, and then the tropical reflects the planet's positions during the day. Hence why my ancient ancestors and my higher self said the tropical is masculine energy, divine masculine, and the sidereal is a reflection of your divine feminine. And also as well, like I said, I can't remember if it's like Hindu or the Indians, Buddhisms. they believe that the birth chart is to show your spiritual journey. So, which is why to me it makes sense, because it's based on the planet's positions at nighttime. So we actually are supposed to be using both, pretty much is what my ancestors and my higher self said. We're supposed to be using both, not one or the other. And that's something that we have to start doing. We've been taught it's either one or the other, and everything is focused on masculine energy, the physical world, our actions. And as you can see, they're slowly taking away things out of these schools that reflect creativity. They're taking away music. They're taking away art. They want everybody to just perform. Why? To distract. But as I was saying, the sidereal birth chart is your inner world, your soul, your spirit, your spiritual journey, your subconscious map. It's our inner divine feminine and masculine goddess energy, because our souls, I saw my soul. She's both masculine and feminine energy. She's not just feminine energy, she's both. Because our divine parents is both, masculine and feminine. So, for example, when it comes to the birth charts, I am an Aquarius sun in both my tropical and sidereal placements. So internally and externally, I show up as someone who is innovative, eccentric. If y'all know me, y'all be like, yeah, caring and so forth. But I also embody chaotic thoughts and emotions, because Aquarius is fixed energy and has an air element. But the Aquarius symbol is the water bearer. So energetically, I incarnated to be a problem solver and a pioneer. But first, I have to learn how to solve my own problems, meaning internally, because you can't create with fixed energy. But I mean, because when you look at it from a masculine and a divine masculine and a divine feminine, okay, divine masculine, I'm show up as cat, in which I do, because all my life, like for example, my mom, she used to always be like, why you always switch your jobs, you and stuff, because I would hop a job in a minute when I did used to work a regular 9 to 5. Even after I had kids, if the energy ain't right, like I would get so many signals or symbolisms, actions. At the time I didn't know anything about symbolisms or synchronicities and stuff. I just know like red flags will go off and it's like, it's time to haul ass and get out of here. I will burn some candles, and next thing you know, I have a brand new job and I'm doing well, So that's my Aquarius sun as far as in my tropical. But on my sidereal, it's like, okay, that's divine feminine energy. That means I have to look further into this. That means I have to figure out, why do I have chaotic thoughts? Why do I always hop? Like I say in a lot of my videos, my brain is constantly like for real. Like I was diagnosed I ain't gonna tell y'all, but anyway, I was diagnosed with some mental things in the past, and I can see why, because like I said, my mind is constantly then it's like I swear I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD, but it was like dog, cat. Like I'll be so focused, and next thing you know, something to distract me, and then I'm focused on that, and then it's like, okay, be back. Like it's so I have learned a lot. I have calmed my mind down a lot, but I still have a ways to go. But anyway, that's just me using myself as an example as far as why it's important to know your birth chart placements, but to know your tropical and your sidereal placements as well, because that'll give you a really good understanding as far as what's going on, not only what you came here for, as far as with the tropical will tell you what you came here for, as far as how your life will be in the physical sense. Sidereal will tell you why and what you need to work on internally in order to work and flow better in your physical waking life. So, like I said, I had to learn how to understand my thoughts. I had to do a lot of inner work to understand as an Aquarius, that's go-getter energy. But I couldn't get it together. I go hard breaking down Aquarius energy in my last astrology prophecies video. Go watch that because I break down like the water bearer symbolism as well as air and emotions and thoughts. If it's not the last one that I did, it's the one before that. I'll do it again in other videos, but I just went hard in that one. But just so you get, especially if you have Aquarius in your birth chart, just so you know, especially if you have Aquarius in your birth chart as your sun, your rising, or your Mercury, because in my tropical birth chart, I'm an Aquarius sun and I'm Aquarius Mercury. Woo! Yeah, I have so much fixed energies, but anyway, that's another video. But I'm gonna do one more before. So as far as using me as an example, so you have even more of an understanding. So I was born on a new moon phase. That's another thing people should know. Don't just know what your zodiac moon sign is. Know what your moon phase is, because that makes a big difference as well. So when I was born, it was a night of a new moon. My tropical placement, I'm an Aries new moon, but my sidereal placement is I'm a Pisces new moon. So energetically, therefore, physically, I am supposed to always go within, which makes sense being an Aquarius, having an Aquarius Mercury and as well an Aquarius sun. But I'm supposed to always go in because that's what you do with the new moon. It's all about planting new seeds, overcoming your obstacles, setting yourself up to win. So my soul came here to help heal the planet, like all of us, in our own way. Hashtag Pisces energy. But in order to do what my soul came here to do, I have to constantly and consistently evolve, which is Aries energy. Hashtag Aries new moon energy. That's Neptune energy, Jupiter energy, and Mars energy as well. I gotta always work on me. My soul came here to work on me, or it's I don't know, sometimes 100,000%, like daily, constantly. And I will say that I do that. I put myself first, and ever since then, my thoughts still like go, especially when I'm channeling messages. It's like I can't even describe it. But long story short, my thoughts have become a lot quieter. I feel a lot more calmer. I feel like I have more control over my life, and I don't make bad choices like I used to when I was younger. But moving on. But with the Aries new moon and then a Pisces new moon, physically I always was a big dreamer. Yeah, because that's Pisces energy. I've always been different. People always noticed something I was doing or something about me that's different. In some type of way, I always stood out, even though I never wanted to. Like, I wasn't doing it intentionally. I was just being me. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go through my entire birth chart placements. But I just wanted to give you all that as an example. I did put down that I was, my tropical, my Mercury placements. Oh, Mercury is, like I mentioned, go ahead, babe. My Mercury is in Aquarius, and as far as tropical, and sidereal is Capricorn. And that's crazy opposites. Because as I mentioned, my thoughts are chaotic. I've always had crazy downloads, crazy thoughts, crazy ideas, which kept me mentally stuck and unproductive. Hashtag Aqua energy. So my soul was like, look, sweet pea, this is what you/I came here for, to communicate, to translate. Hashtag Mercury energy. That's what Mercury is all about. We came to translate and communicate in some type of way, shape, or form of all these beautiful transformative thoughts and ideas to the world to share with others. But first and foremost, you have to organize. Hashtag Capricorn. Capricorn Mercury. You have to ground. Capricorn has an earth element. Discipline yourself. Our divine discernment, meaning myself physically, myself energetically, and my higher self, hashtag Saturn energy, because Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn. Catch the vibes, friend, of where I'm going with this. But I have to organize and discipline myself, my energy, to wrangle my mind back into a corral, so that way I can move better and think more clearly, because I'm working with and within my mental body a lot healthier. Hashtag new moon, Pisces, and Aries energy combined. Like I said, I'm learning myself, I'm learning my soul, I'm learning my purpose. I hope you're catching the vibes of how I'm breaking down this energy and how I can help you all break down your soul purpose and your path as well. But moving on. So this all brings me to the Jean Piaget theory. Like I said, moving on. I hope I'm not all over the place for you, friend. I took a swig of Remy so I could calm my ass down, because my last video I was kind of all over the place. So I hope I didn't lose people in that one. But it is what it is. But like I said, Jean Piaget. So you know how you'll hear people who are on their spiritual journeys and waking up and whatnot talk about dark night of the souls, their Kundalini experience, and their waking up. Which they are, but it was downloaded to me that we're still stuck in this loop within the 3D, because whatever happened in the ethers, that is now happening here on Earth. We keep hitting replay or reset. It's embedded within us physically and energetically, where we were not able to fully ascend, fuse and merge into multiple realities like we used to. Like, we are doing it, but it's not in a way where, so I don't want to discredit anybody who said, well, I've been to the fourth dimension, I've hit nirvana and things like that, because I know you have. I'm just saying that we're not doing it at the level and at the capacity that we're supposed to. And if you disagree, just think about the fact that we don't even use half our brain power. Matter of fact, we use less than half our brain power, so we use less than half of our brain power is what I meant to say. So you just got to remember that, which is why I was downloaded the fact that we are doing the work, we're putting in the work, but we're still repeating history, which I touched upon a lot and heavily in my seasons video, the purposes of the seasons, because of the ciphers that's been embedded into us, as well as into the surrounding energy, and it's into the planets. That's all the planets know. That's all this dimension knows. Moving on. But like I said, we're not able to do it like we're supposed to. And it has something to do with our parents, our core fathers and mothers, both in the ethers and physically. I will go further into it, but I'm still, like I said, I'm still having conversations. I'm at the frequency I'm on and where I'm vibing at, I can't really fully understand the messages, but I know it has something to do with our forefathers and mothers, and energetically and physically. Like, something was done and embedded into them that it's like putting a cap on our ascension. Like, we're very limited, much like when you catch let's say a firefly or something in a jar. Like, that firefly is going to always light up and create amazing, beautiful light and dance this beautiful light dance, but it's stuck in a jar. It won't be able to fully shine bright in the sky like it's supposed to because it's got captured in a jar. So kind of like that. But like I said, I would go further, but I'm still talking with my higher self and my ancient ancestors about what happened, because there have been so many experiences and the scenarios downloaded to me, because this world and so many other worlds have been wiped out so many times. For example, floods, Noah's Ark, the Great Ice Age, so many quote unquote natural disasters that phased out old lost my spot, sorry. But it phased out old life and to set up new life. Give me a second. Sorry, I lost my spot because I put this phone down. Almost there. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so like I was saying, the Great Ice Age, so many natural disasters. It phased out old worlds out in such cataclysmic ways to bring in new worlds that were supposed to be better and healthier, but they're not the way it's supposed to be. But that's a whole nother video, because I'm still having conversations with them, and the more I follow my soul's path, my soul's vibe, the more it's shown, because like I said, I'm aiming for immortality. I've mentioned that a few times. Fuck all these worldly riches and stuff. Y'all can have all this limited ass shit. I don't want it, friend. That's just my personal choice. I don't want to keep accepting death. That's where my soul is at right now. That's how I've always felt, even when I was little. Like, I literally, on my 18th birthday, I cried. People were like, what's wrong? You're 18. And on my 21st. They're like, why you 18? You 21 and stuff. I was crying because for some reason I always felt like I'm running out of time. I don't want to get older, because if I'm getting older, that means I'm running out of time. Now that I'm starting to wake up and align more, I can understand why I felt the way I felt when I was younger and was crying on birthdays when I should have been celebrating. Because I mean, come on, 18, 21, you living a hard life, But I was crying, I still celebrated, but I was crying while I celebrated. Like, this shit ain't fun, but yet I'm having fun. It was weird. But anyway, I just don't want it. I just don't want to keep accepting death. I'm on a mission to live forever, like they did in the freaking Bible. And I already know how to. It's just a matter of doing it. And to be honest, y'all do too, friend. Really pay attention. And I can't say much more on that because, yeah. But anyways, back to Dark Night of the Souls and healing. And Jean Piaget. So when I first started subconsciously, consciously, when I started my spiritual journey, Dark Night of the Souls was a bitch. I'm gonna be honest. I hated it, especially because of the fact that I was already dealing with manic depression at the time, and I was not on medication. I couldn't take it. I do talk a little bit about that on my first YouTube channel, as far as why I stopped taking medication. That shit is toxic. And no, I do not recommend people who are dealing with any type of mental health issues to stop taking your medication. To each his own. You do what's best for you. But I would not recommend it. That's just something that I chose. But I know my strength and stuff in all aspects. So that's why I stopped. And too, because of the things that was going on, because of it was creating in my life. I couldn't take it. But anyway, like I said, I had finally got to the point of my journey where I started to finally, my soul was talking to me and downloading to me, and my ancient ancestors, they all revealed themselves, and I was just talking to them and to our divine ether parents, and I'm like, this shit is ridiculous, you know. Like, I hear people talking about dark night of the souls all the time, and like their experiences and how low they get, and to keep having to go through such hard times mentally and emotionally repeatedly over and over again. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not about to do this. I don't. And if I keep doing it this way, my answer is I just knew I was gonna effing die. Like, because there's no happiness knowing that, okay, yeah, I'm good now, but then Dark Night of the Souls hit, and that ish is BS, like, for real. So, you know, and y'all who've been through Dark Night of the Souls, y'all know, like, everybody's Dark Night of the Souls isn't the same, but that shit is rough, and that shit is hard, and to go through, and healing is in layers and stuff. It's not just, oh, a one-hitter quitter. It's in layers. Yes.
I finished.
I see. It's cute. My baby, oldest baby, tried a new hairstyle. She looks really pretty. But put some oil in your hair.
Okay.
But what else was I about to say? Okay. So that's when they revealed to me ℠ Piaget. Now, I already knew about ℠ Piaget from psychology. That was, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna say I'm a big major psychology buff, but I always been the type to like wonder what like, I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of like the murder episodes, like murder stories and stuff, because I always used to wonder like what made that person do what they did. And like, when growing up watching Disney movies, I didn't want to be the princesses. I wanted to be Ursula. I didn't want to be Ariel. I wanted to be Ursula. I didn't want to be Snow White. I wanted to be whatever that witch was, and stuff. I wanted to be Catwoman. I wanted to be Poison Ivy. I wanted to be the Joker. Like, I wanted to be the bad guys. I do not know why, still to this day, but I was attracted to their mind, because to be disconnected like that, I don't know, it was just really intriguing to me. But psychology, how people's minds work, why people react the way they do, the power of our words. Like, I used to play a lot of word games on people, and they didn't even know it until I got them caught up, and then they would be so mad sometimes. But anyways, I really just love learning about the mind. I love learning about the human body, or just bodies, period. But ours, of course, because we're humans. But I love learning about the bodies, because our bodies, it's just freaking amazing. Like, the eye alone, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so the eye alone, I remember getting an article about the human eye, how complex it is, and how many layers it is just in your eye. Something that's like 2 inches long, big. You know, it's deep. But anyway, as human beings, I just find this to be the bomb. And I always found this interesting. What makes us trigger all of that. But like I said, focusing back on ℠ Piaget theory. So I was told to look at the ℠ Piaget theory from a higher perspective. For those of you who are still going through your dark night of the souls, or starting your dark night of the souls, are starting your quote unquote spiritual journey, period. Look into the ℠ Piaget theory. But long story short, ℠ Piaget theory is about the cognitive development of children from the time we're born up to predominantly age 12, and then whatever your stage you're at age 12, whatever you've learned as far as your cognitive development, that's what you carry out throughout the rest of your life until shown otherwise. But we're learning about the world, ourselves, and the environments where it shapes us into who we are today as an adult. So as infants and children, we go through 4 stages of development. Our cognitive development occurs through the interactions of innate capacities and environmental events we experience as children, meaning our sense of perspective of life on a personal level and aspect of worldwide level is determined and determined, per our parents and their parents and so on, which is why I mentioned earlier about the download regarding our ancestors and somebody hitting a replay button and a reset button. So no matter how nice of a household you grew up in, at the end of the day, our parents was born into misalignment. Therefore, we were born into misalignment. # why the religions always tell us we're sinners and stuff. It's not about us being making bad choices and all that stuff that they try to teach in religions. No disrespect, I already know the purpose of religions. If it brings you joy and you're happy with it, good for you. Because at the end of the day, what works for you, and that's all that matters. But it doesn't work for me and stuff. And we could just agree to disagree. So I'm not here to disrespect anybody or knock anybody's religion, talk bad. I'm just stating my truth from the frequency and vibe I'm at right now. But like I said, we were born into misalignment, and we keep carrying that tradition down, that energetic imbalance down to our kids, to the next generations. Therefore, time just keeps resetting the end, Therefore, time just keeps replaying as we know it. Which is why I kept mentioning nothing's new under the sun, because we keep reliving our lives over and over again within these bubbles. So is what they told me, and our sense of understanding of what life truly is and what is meant to be and who we truly are has been wiped out of our systems. It has been gone for so long because all of us are always trying to get it right. Hence, you might have heard people saying in certain religions or teachings that we are abominations and sinners, like I mentioned earlier, and things like that. It's just that we are still trying to figure out how to create ways to ascend to other dimensions, to higher dimensions, subconsciously for our souls. Our souls are trying to figure out, what to do, and we're still learning how to become one in the physical, how to get back home and get back in alignment with our mind and our soul in one body, and how to align with the Trinity of Mother, Father, Son, as some say Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Whatever you learned, at the end of the day, is God is energies, consciousness as well, and it's their energy, and we're their children, we're their creations. So we're still trying to figure out how to utilize the energy of 3 in a healthy way to bring peace and balance, which is why we're still seeking balance in all aspects of our life, and none of us have achieved it 1,000%. Like, I'm not saying we haven't done anything, but we haven't achieved it the way we were created and meant to. So back to Jean Piaget. So from birth to age 2, we're operating in our sensory motor. Sorry, my tongue don't work with me sometimes and certain words and stuff, because my tongue accents, whatever. But in the sensory motor stage, that's from birth to age 2. So that's when we're the most powerful, because both our physical and extrasensory senses are activated and very potent. We're learning predominantly through our senses. We're learning our power through our emotions, actions, our energy in the most basic way. When we cry, we're sending out the energy of needing help and support with something, when you were a baby. So when you're a baby and before, a child, before you learn how to verbally speak, we're learning how to communicate through just our energy subconsciously. Hence, when you talk to babies in a happy voice, your voice emits high vibrational energy. Therefore, your baby is happy. When you become upset with your baby, let's say, they're learning how to walk or crawl and they go by a hot stove after you told them not to do that because it's hot. Of course, they don't have the understanding of what a stove is and what hot means. But because they went by the hot stove and your voice has a stricter tone emitting energy that isn't happy, they feel that and it makes them upset, and either they cry or get angry depending on the energy that your baby came with, and the energy of their environments and the people they're around, because they're learning / we were learning at the most basic level, which is energy. Therefore, one, your soul is energy. So your soul was learning how to process everything, because at that time, children, like they say, they're the most innocent, they're the most closest to God and whatnot. That's because they are one with their soul. They're learning through just their emotions and stuff. They're living their life from the solar aspect, from their energetic aspect, which is our most basic aspect. But we're learning where it's not basic, because the soul is very complicated, but you get what I'm saying. But we're learning a lot through the actions of others and our emotions, what things mean, such as when we see let's say we see our parents kiss, that means love. But when we see them argue, that means love as well. Even though it doesn't feel good and it doesn't reflect love, it has to be love, because they're accepting those mean words and harsh tones from one another, and they stay together even though they're doing things to each other that hurt. Catch the vibes. A lot of us energetically, in our spirit and our souls, are still in this stage of our lives, the sensitors, whatever. Sorry, it's late. But the first stage, where a lot of us are in this stage of our lives energetically, trying to figure out ourselves and our lives, and why there's so much pain in this world, yet beauty. Much like the example I gave, when you see your parents or adults in your life as a child arguing, it's like, this doesn't feel good and it doesn't look good, but you accept it as is and accept it as the equivalence of love, because that is all you know per the environment you were brought up in. Once again, that's like the example I gave as far as seeing the replay and reset button. We keep teaching each other and our kids how to stay misaligned, but we can't help it, because that's become the tradition, and it's just time to break free. But much like a lot of things that are happening and is happening, we don't agree with and we fight against, but it still takes that one person to truly go above and beyond to make change happen, because we've been conditioned to accept and allow others to be the ones that decide our fate, rather that be government, parents, a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, children. Even at the end of the day, it's to some extent, in many areas of our lives, we give our power to others because it's been embedded into our subconscious and intertwined within the ethers for so long. Okay, so moving on. So the second stage of cognitive development is the pre-optional stage, occurring between ages 2 to 7. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention, in the other stage, the sensory motor stage, we are predominantly operating on the theta brain waves and reconnecting and supposed to be reestablishing and renewing our connection with Mercury and Venus. Because as I mentioned, we're learning about ourselves in the world and whatnot from an energetic perspective. So like when we reincarnate, like I mentioned, did I mention it in this video? Yeah. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier in the video, our energetic imprints are embedded in the ethers and within the planets. So every time you're reborn, then you're reestablishing a new relationship. You're still, you're still connected. You still have energetic cords connected to your soul from your previous lifetimes. But now, it's like, okay, this is a new lifetime. You're supposed to be doing better and reconnecting with the planets and each other, from a healthier perspective. But once again, we haven't been able to do that because of these ciphers that's been embedded into this dimension in these realms for so long. But moving on, like I was saying, the sensory motor stage, which is the first stage, when you're born, you're reconnecting to reestablishing a new relationship or new energies that's supposed to rewrite your Akashic records, and that's supposed to bring balance into the world and it's within yourself. That's what the purpose of us reincarnating, part of the purpose of us reincarnating. But as I mentioned, we're relearning about ourselves, the world, and whatnot from an energetic perspective in our souls. So our souls at that point of time are trying to refigure out how to do life the right way per the environment and families we signed up to be born in. So we're relearning how to to love ourselves, what love is, how to communicate with and within ourselves per how we see others communicate with each other and with us. Bless. Okay, so now back to the second stage, the pre-optional stage. So we're still very much operating on the theta brainwaves. I'm going to include videos in the description area of what the brainwaves are. I found these phenomenal doctors and just researchers and stuff that breaks it down. I'm going to even include a video about dreams. It's this one guy, man, he broke it down in a way like it made me think. So hopefully it can help you too, friend, if you are not familiar with the brain waves and the frequencies. But anyway, in stage 2, we're still operating on the theta brain waves. I included a few videos. Oh, I said that already. Okay, so during this stage, the pre-optional stage, we are now creating imagery in our mind of life, which is ages 2 to 7. Yeah. So from ages 2 to 7 or 8, we're starting to create imagery in our mind of life, putting physical energetic imagery of what we want, activating and utilizing our alpha brain waves, because that is the brain wave of visualizing, meditating, relaxing, and daydreaming. This energetic frequency is the state of consciousness associated to our psychic abilities. Theta brain waves is associated to deep meditation, deep dreaming, vivid imagery, and high levels of inner awareness, which is why we're predominantly operating in and on this frequency from birth to age 2, because we're predominantly learning through energy, through our emotions, through vibrations. Our lives is 1000% focused in on us and how we feel on the inside. Theta brainwaves are completely unaware of the external world because life is all about you. Much like, when you see babies, everything is theirs. They know everything. You know nothing. They're learning their voice. learning how to take authority and leadership of their lives and of themselves from their aspects, their lives from their own individual perspectives by constantly saying no and stop. And I don't like that. So if if you got children and they're toddlers or whatever, don't tell them no. Like, don't sit there and be like, don't tell me no. They're just learning how to be a leader of themselves. I have a 3-year-old. He says no when he wants to say no. I just let him say no, and I just be like, look, this is what you need to do, and this is why you need to do it. And you have to 5 to do it. And guess what? He gets up and do it and stuff. I don't really have to spank him because I know how to talk to him, because I understand like the phase that he's in right now of his life. He's in the creative stage. He's trying to figure out life, like how to be his own person, So for all the parents out there, if you have little babies and stuff, stop telling them no. Like, well, not telling them no, but stop telling them, don't tell me no, because at the end of the day, they're just repeating what they see. So if they see you, their parent, being authoritative and being a leader of your own life, they too, of course, want to do that as well. They want to be respected as well. And so them telling you no is not to be disrespectful. It's just them saying, hey, I do not like this. Listen to me. I have a voice as well. So that's why you got to kind of break, regardless if they understand it or not. Just the fact that you broke it down like, no, you have to do this. And this is why. Eventually it's going to click. Maybe not at the stages that they're in when they're like babies and 2 and 3 and 4, but it'll eventually click. But it'll help them with their cognitive development to continue making sure that they get that they get the respect that they deserve. Okay, that's my little parent tip. Moving on. But like I said, they're learning, and at that, we were supposed to be, and like us, like when we were little, we were supposed to be learning how to give respect and receive respect. And a lot of us grow up, and like honestly, a lot of us as adults do not know how to do that. We don't. Look at all those reality TVs. Look at all the relationships you've been in. No matter if it's a lot, I shouldn't say all the relationships, but look at all the relationships you've been in that did not work out. Think about the fact that, most likely you were told, don't tell me no. Your authority was taken from you when you were a baby. No disrespect to anybody's parents, because I've been through the same thing, but I'm just saying, they didn't know. Our parents didn't know. And a lot of us, when we become parents, we don't know. We don't know the spiritual aspect of being a parent. Not the way we're supposed to be, But our goddess energy at that time in this stage of life, at least in the first 2 stages, is very much in play within the, like I said, within the 2 stages of cognitive development. These stages are very much to me embody the energies of the Emperor and Empress card in tarot, especially once you get to the pre-operational stage, when you're feeling you can be anybody, you can do anything, you can have anything and everything. Like when that's more so like when they get older, getting closer to like 5, 6, and 7, you see the kids saying, I want to be a superhero. I want to be this. I want to be that. That's because they're in that creative stage where they're activating and working a lot with the energy and the magic of the number 3, and the frequency of 3. They're very much living in their 3rd dimension, where they can create. So don't block that from them, please, because it was blocked from us. But anyway, what I was saying, like I said, they're at the point where they can have anything and everything just because you're you know, just because they're them. Just because Sammy is Sammy, you know, he can have everything and anything. Just because Natalie is Natalie, you know, she can have anything and everything. And when you tell them no, they truly don't understand, because in their mind, they're creating, you know, they're starting to put imagery into their physical reality. So if they physically see themselves as a superhero, they're a superhero, you know, because right now they're still living pretty much in their inner worlds, still learning about themselves and how this world works. But they're at these stages, they're predominantly learning how their soul works, learning who they are, not just externally as whoever they're born as in the families they're born in, but who they are energetically as far as their soul and what they came here for. And we would be able to start building a whole new world the minute we start learning our birth charts, so that way we could get more in alignment with these kids and helping them learn, so that way this stuff could end, which it will be in due time. Moving on. But subconsciously we're seeing the world through the eyes of our souls. Subconsciously we know what we're capable of. We know how powerful we are. We know we signed these physical solar contracts that we want to fulfill, so that this go round of reincarnation, we'll align all our consciousness, and become one and go back home, both physically and energetically, instead of just energetically. And above all, we subconsciously know what blessings and riches will unlock if we finally get it right in this experimental physical solar life journey. Bless, you know, to sign off all our contracts, to pay back all our energetic debt we created. Sorry, friend, who still believes Jesus died for our sins. Not to offend you, but our brother in spirit was murdered. Can nobody pay off, correct, make right, nor fix all the imbalanced debt you created and your ether karmic family created in the energetic bloodline. Your soul, your energy was made from. No, none of us can pay it off. Just you and only you can pay it off. And those who help you in the ethers win too, because they helped you, they protected you, and they doing right by you. Or you might not have any low karmic debt, but you signed up for the mission to fight for and on behalf of your ether family. So bless your soul and bless you physically, friend, because you taking on a whole mountain. You know, either way. So, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody who believe in Jesus, that he died for our sins. I do believe in Jesus. I do know he was here. And stuff. Like I said, that's our energetic brother. But I also know what was downloaded to me, and I've always felt a certain type of way, like that just didn't sound right to me, because, excuse me, if he died for our sins and everything's supposed to be corrected, we have a clean state. I mean, he in the Bible, we're taught he's God's son. So God, who is an all-loving God, sacrificed his son for our sins, and we too are God's creations. Why is there still so much imbalance going on? Anyway, think about it, friend. Catch the vibes. Doesn't really make sense. You know, stop just going with the flow just because somebody that you feel has more knowledge than you said this, that, and the third. What makes their word more significant than mine? You know, just because you know them, you know, I'm just saying, like, make it make sense, because so far everybody who's broken it down to me, they're just saying, this person is saying, but the Bible. You don't even know where the Bible came from. You don't even know where religion came from. You know, you haven't done the research for yourself, for your own peace of mind. you're just going based off of other things. So it's not to be disrespectful to anybody, because like I said, what works for you works for you. And if it does, good. But at the same time, I'm not the one to be up here just going with the okie doke just because you said so and you gave me this information. Like, here, read this. This is what God wants you to do. I got off that boat at the age of 16 when I stopped going to the Kingdom Hall. And then I tried to get back on that boat when I was in my early 20s trying to find God at churches and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, I did find some peace, but it wasn't, I still felt like I'm not being served what I want, what I'm seeking, But anyway, moving on. So the third stage of cognitive development we go through is called the concrete operational stage. This is ages 7 through 11. Also, just to let you know before we dig deep into this stage. So many of you, I don't know if you all know, but when we're born, we don't have auras. Our auras isn't fully formed until the ages of 7 or 8. And when it's formed, per our cognitive development determines how strong or weak our auras is. And like I said, it's very much dependent and determined upon your parents. So I want to take a little sidestep again. I know I've said that for a second to discuss that for a few minutes. So my higher self and ancient ancestors had told me that as a parent, when we signed contracts with our kids, we took on the responsibility to help them on their physical solar journeys. So if we mess up or interfere or whatnot with their contracts and they do not succeed, and we take on some of their karma, because energetically we told our ether mom and pops that in this lifetime we'll do right by them and better than we had when we was with them in another lifetime. Because majority of the time you've already spent a lifetime with your kids. Like, and if you don't have kids, then it's your parents, because from birth to age 7 or 8, we didn't have auras. It takes 7 to 8 years to form, which is how our kids inherit our family generational karmas, good or bad, because honestly, we're supposed to work on ourselves and heal, therefore attracting our divine soulmates of higher vibrations who will feed into you and you feed into them equally. Hashtag the saying, being equally yoked, because you can be equally yoked with your low vibrational karmic soulmates too, because that's just the frequency you're on. That's my truth in regards to the Bible that my higher self and ether fam share with me per the frequency I'm vibing on, which is important, which is why, in the Bible they teach it's important to wait to get married and have kids, because if we honestly were living a life the way it was divinely intended, then by our first Saturn return, which is at the age of 30, all of us will be living a hog life, being divinely blessed, and we'll get there, eventually. It's destined. But like I said, that's why it's so important to heal as a parent, especially. All of us need to heal, but as a parent, because we sign extra contracts, and their kids, because I'm a parent of 5 beautiful and handsome kids, and I know 2 to 3 of my kids I had lifetimes with. I had a few lifetimes with my mom and with my sister. I had a few lifetimes with my kid's father. I actually had 12 lifetimes with him, I was told, and this is our last lifetime together. Our contract has been fulfilled. I'm currently working on my contracts with my kids and my mom and my sister, and to fulfill them in this lifetime. And then my 2 youngest kids, I haven't had any lifetimes with them, at least that it hasn't been revealed to me as of yet. but all my kids, my dad, my mom, my sister, I'm healing for myself first and foremost. And as I heal, either they're going to as well, and we keep working together, doing right by each other, or this will be our last lifetime together, period. And I'm mentioning this because it's direly important you acknowledge the frequencies of those you love and care about are on, so you'll know how to handle and work and interact with them. Because if you don't do right by them, you'll bring bad karma onto you, because that's part of the contract we signed, regardless if we activated a contract / relationship with someone and they're high vibrational or low. At the end of the day, we have to remember they too are in the same boat as you. We're all in the same boat together, friend, which is why they are in your life as whoever they are to you. If that person is constantly triggering you in a negative way, remember you activated a contract, and now you have to do your part of healing and learning the lessons you two are activating with and within each other, because everybody in your life is a reflection of some aspect of your inner world. If that person is neglecting you, that's because you're neglecting yourself, and your higher self is saying, hey, this is what we came to learn from, to overcome, to do better and be better to ourselves, because we didn't learn it within the first 2 cognitive development stages of the gene Piaget, when we were learning what life is from the eyes of a child, from the eyes of our souls. Catch the vibes, friend. Or from previous lifetimes. So now back to the 3rd stage. So now, within this stage, like I said, by 7 or 8, our auras are completely formed. Our viewpoints and perspectives, beliefs and opinions of the world, of life, of our friends, family, and ourselves is formed. So who we are as a person is kind of set in stone at this stage and age group, because as we're reactivating our energetic connections to the relation, as we're reactivating our energetic connections and relationships with Mars, which is all about, planning and self motivation, self encouragement. That's Mars energy. But as we're reactivating our relationship with Mars during this cognitive development stage, where we're thinking more with logic, we're activating and utilizing our beta and delta brain waves. So the beta brain waves is the most common brain waves we use in our wake life, quote unquote. It's the brain waves that we use to concentrate, make decisions, and utilize our critical thinking skills. And the delta is the state of consciousness associated to deep dreamless sleep, the deepest states of meditation. It's associated to healing and regenerating. But at this point, moving forward, we're subconsciously reevaluating all the game plans, strategies, and techniques we used, whether they worked or not, that we created with Mars energy. So at this age group, and in this stage, we're reevaluating our plans, because we're thinking more logically on what life is, how life works and stuff. So now at this age group and stage of development, we're thinking more about life in the physical, I should say, and less about our emotions. At least that's how it's set up. We're really supposed to be utilizing both our internal and external worlds. But like I said, a lot of us, really all of us, that was snatched from us per our environments, our parents, unbeknownst to them, because it happened to them, and we've been carrying on that tradition for eons of lifetimes. But when we reactivate our relationship and reconnect with Mars during this stage, you know, is to create better plans to win in this lifetime, because you have a better understanding of how things work and you're able to communicate your thoughts clearly and express yourself clearly within the age group of 7 through 11. Supposedly, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. But moving on to the final stage, which is the fourth stage, which is the formal operation stage. Now, this is ages 12 and over, meaning how you think and how you operate as a person is pretty much what you're carrying into adulthood. So let's say you have low self-esteem as a child and you weren't given the support, confidence, builder strategies and techniques to know without a doubt that you are the best, you are the coolest kid on the block and whatnot. Then you carry that throughout your life until you deprogram yourself and reconstruct your mind and how you feel about you, to see and always see yourself as beautiful or handsome, you know, to see yourself as a winner, as a divine energetic being that is a god and goddess on your own birthright, because you are a reflection of our divine mom and dad, period. So remember that, friend. It's in our blood, it's in our DNA to be great, period. But this stage is supposed to be my high priestess stage. That's how I saw it, the high priestess stage, especially because 12 is the number of completion, because you've ascended. We should have connected and became one within, therefore throughout ourselves and our lives by age 12. We should have went through all 12 dimensions of consciousness by age 12, and we should at the age of 12 share our divine inner wisdom with the world. Think about Jesus. He was very young when he was preaching and nobody wanted to listen to him when he was a child, you know, if I'm remembering right. Don't quote me. But anyway, but we're supposed to share our divine inner wisdom with the world. We should be able to create per our physical and ethereal skills, abilities, and talents by 12, because per Jean Piaget theory, we are able to look and understand life from a logical and abstract mindset and perspective. And when I was rereading his theory from my third eye, I saw that as meaning as well that by age 12, we should be seeing life from both our higher and lower self, because we've united all 12 dimensions of consciousness and have come full circle with life, the true way life is supposed to be, with no pain, no harm, no fear, because we fulfilled all our low vibrational karmic contracts. Catch the vibes, friend. Therefore, we're balanced, we're at peace, we're divinely harmoniously polarized within, therefore throughout, meaning nothing but good shit can happen because we exorcised. I have a child, I'll be trying to exercise, you know, like exorcisms. Like I said, me and my tongue. But anyway, we exercise all the low vibes out of our lives. And the more people who find their soul's vibe and choose to vibe with their soul, they're saying, I'm vibing with my God, goddess, parents of all creations. So utilize my videos, friend, to help you truly break your energetic low vibrational karma. Rewrite your Akashic records, therefore rewriting and revamping your energy, reawakening your soul by following my astrology prophecy videos and astro tarot videos, so you can stop, stop freaking going through dark nights of the souls. Let's stop this. I felt so tired of it. I mean, I haven't been through dark night of the souls in a long time, truth be told, because I don't backtrack. Like, I kind of do little hiccups, but it's nowhere near as was before. You know, so like I said, going through dark night of the soul, so you can stop vibing high one day and then low the next. I don't know about you, but I can't vibe like that anymore. My higher self is showing how to get on higher frequencies and freaking stay there, man. I'm going up and staying there. Like Cardi B says, when it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Something like that. I know I trashed it. But anyway, but long story short, friend, I'm getting off this crazy roller coaster ride that is life in this dimension. I am exiting stage left into my past lives so that I can keep my foot in all these low vibrational energies next, because I'm not vibing with that part of our ether family like that no more. Bless to them. I'm not rocking with them no more like that. So watch my videos. You'll see how I break energy down so you can have a better understanding, so you can do what? So you'll know how to move in both these energetic and physical streets. That's all I have for you today, friend. Remember to tell yourself that I am irrefutable. BKA, I am impossible to deny, friend. Remember to be kind to yourself today. Remember to love on yourself today. Remember to treat yourself with unconditional kindness. You are a limitless being. You are a divine, energetic being. Never, ever forget that. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay real to yourselves. Remember to walk your true, authentic path. I will see you in the next next astrology video, my next video, and or in the astral realms. Peace, love, and bliss. Bye.